This is good to see you here in Tokyo.
I'm so honored to be here.
Well,
My wife and I are so pleased to be participating in JCPAC.
yeah, I heard your wife will have a little health problem. Is she okay now?
She's okay. I mean, she was exhausted yesterday. I mean, I'm tired too.
Yes.
So both of us, but we'll be okay.
Well, make a long story short, basically what we want to talk about is a lot of the Korean people, the South Korean, freedom-loving, conservative Korean people, very concerning the current situation in Korea. So, they would love to hear some of your own story, which is then going to be televised throughout the Korea. So, what do you think that you have any future the picture on the South Korea, especially the moon?
I think the most important thing is that we're seeing South Korean citizens just organizing, going out to the big rallies, because they want to protect their way of life, they want to protect their freedom and liberty, and they want to protect their country. And they think that, well, they're obviously right, that their political leadership is not defending South Korea, that their political leadership has other motives, trying to unify with North Korea on North Korea's terms, and doing things, supporting the North Korean state. These are things that Moon Jae-in was not elected to do. So I think that it's important, that people express their views. It's a democracy, and Moon Jae-in is trying to subvert that democracy, and so we are seeing people protecting it.
Okay, I believe that this is just my own assumption. Most Korean, one of these most important issue they are concerned about is the President Park conditions. Are we as American government ever try to influence to the Moon Jae-in to release President Park based on we have some history back in 38 years ago, like I mentioned yesterday, back in 1980, when President Chun Doo-hwan, when he became the Korean president, quickly that Kim Daejung was indicted, and then he was kind of a special military court. They sentenced him to the death, which at the time the U.S. government influenced the Chun Doo-hwan to release Kim Daejung, which Kim Daejung went to Harvard, politically asylum. Okay, 38 years ago, when the right government took to the left, the political leaders, after 38 years later, now left government took over and arrested right side of a president, and it seems like nobody really doing anything.
Yeah, at this particular time, President Park's situation has not become an issue for the Trump administration. But I think as more and more facts come out, we're going to see a new attitude in Washington. So I do believe at some point the administration will talk to President Moon.
Well, the time is very critical. Her condition, the physical condition is really going down quick. She's already 68 years old. Nobody really seen her, not knowing what's the current condition is. It's completely just cut off from the public views. So this is very concerning that most the Korean people was because it is kind of symbolic things. So as you know that there's a Korean political party which called Korean Patriotic Party. Congressman Choi Won Hee, he's been speaking throughout the street every week, public rallies for the last how many years? How many weeks?
Last February, it was 91st
91st.
rallies, in front of Seoul Station, marching toward the Gwanghwamun areas. More than 30,000 people gathered last Saturday. Such a big rally, shouting release from the prison of former President Park Geun-hye.
And when the Congressman Cho was when he visiting the Washington, he was visiting the State Department. They were stating that, well, we saw that the poll that a lot of Korean general public still very much in favor to the Moon Jae-in, which is as we have America as a President Trump always say fake news.
Yeah, for 7 straight weeks, President Moon's approval rating has declined. And it's probably going to decline further. And it's largely driven by the stagnant economy. We're seeing right now, there's a lot of political issues, of course, but one thing that people have seemed to unite on is that President Moon's economic policies are not working and causing misery. And so that, I think, is going to be driving his poll numbers, and that is going to have all sorts of implications for Moon's policy towards North Korea, plus also President Park's condition.
Well, so after today, I'm going back to Korea. I think I'm going to stay there about another 10 more days, and I'm really going to try to focus on how, if there is any way I can visiting the President Park, at visiting the prison, if they allow me to do make a visit. I don't know. I pretty much I very doubt it. But I think that that we as Americans, that should concern. There's a slowly but surely there's a movement coming out throughout every week. It's growing as an anti-American demonstration, which does another Moon Jae-in tactic.
But I think that, over time, what we're seeing, Moon can do whatever he wants and organize demonstrations, but he's losing popularity. People are concerned about their democracy. People are concerned about economics. There's just across the board concern. And so I think Moon will have less freedom of action. But it really is up to South Korean citizens to defend their own society. And we're starting to see that now with these big rallies that you talk about. So that's a good development.
You think that President Trump know exactly what's going on in Korea?
I think President Trump is focused much more on North Korea, and right now he's focused on other foreign policy crises. So what's happening in South Korea itself is probably not at the top of the list. But it's, our job to put it up there, so.
Yes.
My question is that